Secretary of State Antony Blinken and our U.S. Deputy Special Envoy for Hostage Affairs are both on the ground in Israel. Blinken will meet with Israeli President Isaac Herzog and Prime Minister Netanyahu today after the White House confirmed 22 Americans are dead in Israel and 17 are still unaccounted for.
I would say that of the 17 that Karine talked about that we know are missing right now, and again, this is going to change, but right now we think the number that we know or we believe are held hostage is very small, like less than a handful. But that could change over time. We're going to get more information every single day.
Florida Congressman Greg Steube joins us now. Congressman, you're an Army vet. You understand Army logistics, military logistics. How do we rescue these 17 potentially plus, potentially minus people, assuming they are still alive? And, Congressman, should we send in U.S. Special Forces to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. We should send in our guys to go get our people out if they're being held hostage by a terrorist regime. It would be un-American not to do that. We in Congress haven't been getting reports that that's a plan, but I would hope that it is. I would hope that they wouldn't tell members of Congress what their intentions were, but absolutely, we should be going in and rescuing American citizens. I mean, the main challenge is, do we know where they are? Do we know where they're being held? So I'm not privy to all that intel, but I would hope that our intelligence folks and our DOD folks are doing everything we can to rescue American citizens that have been captured by Hamas.
I want to get your reaction to something Bernie Sanders, who is Jewish, said. He's criticizing Israel right now. He said the targeting of civilians is a war crime no matter who does it. Israel's blanket denial of food, water, and other necessities to Gaza is a serious violation of international law and will do nothing but harm innocent civilians.
Yeah, look how far we've fallen as a nation where Democrats are siding with terrorists who just murdered over 1,000 Israelis, murdered Americans, beheaded children. The videos and pictures that you have seen of the grotesque and gruesome barbaric acts of terrorists are met with Democrats not condemning that, but feeling bad that civilians are getting caught in the middle when Israel responds in kind, as they should. I 100% support our ally, Israel. I think they need to do everything that they can to push back on terrorism. And I commend Netanyahu. He's one of the few world leaders that's actually acting like a leader. We don't have that in the presidency in the White House right now. We still have Americans stuck in Afghanistan, for crying out loud. So I surely hope that I'm glad that we have a leader in Israel. I'm sad that we don't have that type of leadership right here in the United States.
Yeah, that statement from Bernie Sanders, especially in light of the fact that he is Jewish. I read that 3 times. I was like, am I reading this wrong? It makes no sense.
Can I ask Congressman Steube another question about the hostages? Do you think that Antony Blinken is over in Israel right now and he's going to be meeting with the Palestinian president? Do you think that diplomacy, getting these hostages back through diplomacy, is an option?
No, absolutely not. This is a terrorist organization that have decapitated babies and are posting this type of thing online. We should be using the full force of the military to get our people out. We should be using whatever we can to help the Israelis to push back on terrorism that they're experiencing in Gaza. And it's war, so there is going to be collateral damage to that. People like ourselves in the military, we try to minimize collateral damage as much as possible when we do operations and when we do missions. But when you're dealing with this type of threat and this type of terrorism, you have to push back strongly and defend your people.
All eyes on D.C. today. Here at home, the House is going to gavel in at noon today. Republicans selecting Steve Scalise as their candidate for Speaker in a private meeting yesterday. When does this get wrapped up? Is Steve Scalise the Speaker once it does get wrapped up? And does Steve Scalise have your vote?
That's a great question. I think at noon today they'll recess again. If you just read different members' posts on social media and what reporters are reporting, there's still between 12, 15, 20 members that aren't supporting Scalise on the floor. If you go back, let's just take one step back. There was 96% of the conference that supported Kevin McCarthy. 4% took him out. And now we're in the current situation where Scalise got 113 votes out of 221 in conference, barely a majority. So we've kind of taken a step backwards. We took out a guy that had 96% 50% of the conference support to a guy that has barely a majority of the conference support. I actually think we're in a worse situation now than we were last week, and Scalise is going to have to run around and try to garner the support, but there's a number of people that have already said they're not supporting him on the floor, and I wish that we would have stayed in conference yesterday and tried to figure this out instead of breaking conference and everybody going their separate ways.
So 20 seconds to Fox and Friends, but does Scalise have your vote?
I supported Jordan yesterday. I support Jordan today. At this point, I'm supporting Jim Jordan on the floor.
There you have it.